Good morning and good afternoon to all. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Zoran Novakovic. I am an Aurelian global training lead and financial inclusion expert with more than 20 years of experience. Today, I will be your host. Before we start with our today's topic, let's talk about webinar logistics. During the webinar, we will talk about the topic that we have choose today. We will present some of the instant functionalities, and at the end, we will have a Q&A session. If you have any question related to the webinar content, please click Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and type the question. At the end of the webinar, we will answer all of your questions. We'll do our best to answer all of your questions. If you want to ask a question or make a comment during the QA session, please raise your hand and I will unmute you. Otherwise, all of you are muted by default. So let us get started. Today, we will talk about the hottest topic in our industry that greatly affects our business and sustainability of our institutions. It is, of course, delinquency. Just go to the next slide. The sustainability of financial institutions depends largely on the ability to collect loans as efficiently and effectively as possible. In other words, to be financially viable or sustainable, financial institutions must ensure high portfolio quality based on 100% repayment, or at worst, low delinquency, cost recovery, and efficient lending. 0% delinquency is an unobtainable and reasonable goal, but requires the commitment of the whole institution. Acceptance of a delinquency level above 0% is the decision of the institution itself, and is decision that has its own costs. On the screen, you can see the several delinquency definitions, but I'm quite sure you know what I'm talking about because you are battling that on a daily basis in all of your institutions. Let's now talk about causes of delinquency. As you can see on the screen, we can divide delinquency causes to internal and external. Internal can be inadequate repayment amounts, lack of grace period, inappropriate loan term, lack of appropriate collateral, no future possibility of a higher loan, etc. Pretty much whatever is related to our own policies, procedures, processes, loan products, etc. External causes of delinquency are usually unwillingness to pay by our clients, illness or death in the family, theft in the household, business failure, disasters such as a flood or drought, or even now the pandemics, economical crisis, and government interventions. In any case, ultimately, the institution itself is responsible for the delinquency, even when the proximate cause seems external. Why? Because it sets its own principles, promotes its own repayment culture, instills credit discipline in staff and borrowers, and must plan for events beyond its control. There are many stakeholders in the delinquency, but only the institution can do something about it. Delinquency affects the financial institution on many ways. As you can see on the screen, there are many ways on how delinquency affects the institution. By spreading quickly affects the institutional image, slower portfolio rotation, lowers the productivity, lowers the staff morale, etc. However, the financial impact of a delinquency can be devastating for the financial institution. Provisioning for loan impairment increases expenses and reduces surplus. Interest income from the loans is never received. The institution loses a non-recoverable portion of outstanding loan. Written off loans results in the decapitalization of the institution. Because of all we have mentioned, it is crucial for a financial institution to closely monitor performance ratios and loan portfolio quality. We will now present the key ratios that will help us in the process of measuring a delinquency. So let me get started with the ratios. First, of course, it's a portfolio at risk by age, or so-called PAR. Answers the question, how much could you lose if all late borrowers default? And here is the formula for portfolio at risk. Of course, there are some other formulas as well. Somebody is including the rescheduled or renegotiated loans. Somebody is not, but this is what we find suitable for this topic today. So the next ratio is the past due rate. Answers the question how common non-payments are. The formula is amount past due divided by gross loan portfolio. Repayment rate, very important, shows the amount of paid compared to amount due or expected during the specific period. Then we have a current recovery rate. Formula, amounts received in a period, principal and interest divided by due this period, principal and interest under the original loan terms. Then we have, of course, annual write-off rate. This is the annual cost of default. Value of loans written off as unrecoverable divided by the average gross loan portfolio. So these are the key ratios that each and every institution actually should closely monitor on a regular basis to be able to make rational decisions in terms of the how to fight the delinquency. So now we will talk about key elements of the delinquency prevention. Understanding the causes of the problem before developing a solution. This is the most important element of a delinquency prevention. Deep understanding of a cause will help in finding the right solution. To understand the causes, it is imperative to have a solid information system that enables you to collect and analyze portfolio information. With a solid, so the next one is, of course, the methodology. It's about how we internally organize our own stuff. With a solid and reliable data, you will be able to assess your current lending methodology, products, loan size, loan terms, grace periods, incentives, etc. As you can see, it will be very hard to set up a delinquency prevention process without a solid information system. Information system must be reliable, must be accurate, and must provide a timely data, relevant, detailed for level of use for all stakeholders in the company, such as a board, a management, staff, relevant and timely dissemination, and of course must be cost effective. Of course, there are some uncontrollable factors in the delinquency management, and we will talk about them now. First and foremost is the natural disasters, earthquakes, fires, floods, changes in the government policies, introduction of new taxes, crackdown on the street vendors. I mean, it can be anything really from the government. Individual crisis, illness, or a death that throws the household into a difficult economic situation. State of local, national, and world economies actually affects a lot delinquency. We are in the middle of pandemic, so pandemic is something that actually can be a natural disaster, but also it can have a we are facing the government policies related to pandemics. We have a lot of individual crises during the pandemic. So pandemic that we are living in right now actually covers most of the uncontrollable factors that we have mentioned today. Factors such these requires a constant monitoring and consideration. While the institution might not be able to control them, they can influence the quality of the portfolio. The institution should be able to compensate for them in its design, methodology, and collection procedures. Despite of how uncontrollable are, we have to provision for them. We have to actually plan that something could happen. We can, for example, in Africa, when I was in one of the projects, we had a quite often droughts in the remote areas of Malawi, and one of the goals of this company was actually to give agriculture loans. So before all of those droughts came, majority of portfolio were agriculture loans, and you can only imagine how affected the institution was. So as soon as they realized that, they actually started creating new loan products, increasing the loan portfolio that is related to SME loans or the small loans for the for the urban areas, so they can actually manage that risk. Now, I know that you are all waiting to see how Instafin can actually help you out with the fighting the delinquency. So Instafin has many tools. Today we will present our dynamic reports and a few other things, and let me get started with that. Instafin possesses a wide range of functionalities that can be used in the delinquency management. First is Instafin reporting toolset that has a standard reports and dynamic reports. So what I will do now, I will stop sharing my screen. I will share my screen with Instafin, and I will show you what we have prepared for you. Just one moment. Instafin, okay. I hope you see my screen. We have presented many ratios today, and I would like you to start my presentation of Instafin with the standard reports that you already use, but I will point out a couple of other things related to those standard reports. So, as you know, Instafin has a very advanced reporting toolset, and I will start my presentation with the aging analysis report. Aging analysis report, as any other report in Instafin, is based on templates. What you get after the implementation of Instafin is a standard template or standard lookup of this report, but you can have actually up to 10 different versions of the same report, so you can change the one report on a way that suits you better for the certain needs. So this is what I did today for you, just to show you what is possible to do with one of the standard reports. In Instafin, we have aging analysis, of course. Then we have a loan in arrears by branch, by center, by credit officer, by product, etc. So these are one of the main reports that you can use for the delinquency management, and I'm sure you use them on a daily basis. Just make sure that you know that each and every of those reports can be actually additionally configured as a separate template or separate report, so you can add a lot of features to them. So let me just show you the aging analysis report. Okay, I will choose end of the month, end of December 2021. I will filter the report. And this is how the report looks on the screen with this nice chart. Okay, but I wanted to add a couple of more information on this report. So I will export it to template, to Excel. And let's see what will happen. I need to share my screen again. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Just one moment. I hope you see my screen. So here is the report that I have changed a little bit. So you have a bit more of information here. So what I did actually, I have included a simple table here that calculates the provisioning for you if you need that. Or you can use some other reports actually to calculate provisioning if you like. And I have added here, let me just change it a little bit more so I have a little bit more space here, so I can just delete this. And I have a table that is chart that is pretty much the same as the one you have seen on the Instafin. But what I did actually, what you don't have on that report in Instafin, you don't have a par 1 percentage. So I have calculated easily that one as well. So this is just a simple way of showing how customizable templates in Instafin reporting tools are, and nothing prevents you actually to add more sheets, more things, more analysis in the same report. So this is just a one example. I will stop sharing my screen and I'll go back to Instafin. The next I will show you is our dynamic reports. So all of the ratios that I have presented today earlier during this webinar, we have put them together into one delinquency report. So I will click here and I will go to dynamic reports and I will search for, this is a combined report. Sorry, just one moment. Yes. And I call this report delinquency ratio report. So let me start this report. I will again choose the date and I will submit. So when you submit, you will have results here in those tabs, but those information do not actually tell you a lot, because it's just a table. So I have developed one template that actually calculates those ratios very nicely and present those information on a much better way. So let me stop sharing my screen, and I will share screen again. So here is the report, dynamic report that I have developed. So basically, it's like a delinquency ratio dashboard. You have all of the ratios here: repayment rate, past due rate, current recovery rate, annual write-off, and at the end we have a summary. We will go through all of these, and I will show you what I did. On this report, we have calculated the repayment rate based on the formula that was presented on the screen. I did one breakdown of repayment rate and all other ratios per branch, so you can actually see visually all of the segments of this calculation, like a total number of expected installments, overdue total, etc., etc. And then at the end, you have a repayment rate calculated for each and every branch. Okay, branches are here, and here is the total repayment rate. It's 69.12. I also added the conditional formatting to create this heat map, so you can visually see immediately actually who is which branch has smallest repayment rate, and who is more successful, who is less successful, etc. We can actually adjust this report to add just another tag, for example, for the region, if you want to do the further breakdown, or any other organization structure that you have. But of course, I would add credit officers, of course, so you can actually see the repayment rate per credit officer. The past due rate, the same as previous. It was done by branch, and you will see overdue principal, outstanding loan balance, and this is the past due rate. This is done also per branch, and it can be easily done per anything else you like, per gender, per product. It can be done per credit officer or any other tag in the reporting tool. Current recovery rate is here, and it's done in the same fashion. So you have all of the numbers that you need with the heat map, and at the end here is the annual write-off, and here are the results. The last sheet is the summary, so you have your delinquency ratios in just one sheet, so you don't need to click around and write down, etc. So these are the ratios. I think this is very useful report, and I think it can be further enhanced by adding another template, maybe saving this one, but adding another template, but just basically replacing the branch with the credit officer. So if you want to also see to better understand your portfolio quality by product, by gender, by region, etc., you can add all of those tags easily, and you will have the same report in different versions. I would like to present you now another useful tool in Instafin, which I think I'm not sure actually how many of you is using this, but I will have a little question for you after we finish this. Delinquency, it's a very big problem for every institution, and I have mentioned in my presentation that to know exactly what was the cause of the delinquency is actually essential knowledge for us. So how even if we actually understand the cause, we have to track it somewhere, and we have to be able actually to report on this delinquency reasons. I think this is very valuable information that our credit officers or field officers can actually provide us with the cause, so we know exactly is cause internal, is it related to a product, to lack of a grace period, to anything you can imagine related to our internal reasons, or it's purely external, and we already have seen why those external factors. So what we did is we have created one scorecard. We have in InstaFin we have a scorecard, scorecards, and we have created one that has delinquency reasons. Okay, so what we did, we put all of the delinquency reasons in one scorecard, and it was related to, it is individual scorecard. Okay, we activated, and for the purpose of this webinar, I went through this database and I filled the scorecard for all of the, not all, sorry, there are too many of them, for a couple of clients. And then when you have this information, when you have those scorecards, for example, you have a process when somebody is late for more than 15 days, of course, credit officer will visit that person, will call them, will tell them to pay, etc. But of course, they will try to find the reason why people are not paying. So that information can be stored in InstaFin, and you can actually see the nice report related to the reasons of the delinquency. So first of all, what I will do, I will go to individual clients, and I will filter by status in arrears. Okay, and I will just pick one client, this one here, for example, and I will go to scorecards, and here is the delinquency reason scorecard. So I will open it, and okay, delinquency reason, okay, and I will choose this one, okay, and create one. Then I'll go to reports. I will go to dynamic reports, and I will go to loans, and I have developed a report called delinquency reasons. I will run this report. Okay, as of today, it's okay. And you can of course use all other filters that are here in this report, and I will submit. Okay, to be able to see the scores, or to be able to see actually how many the results of the delinquency reason report, I will export it to template. Okay. I will do enable editing. I will choose my delinquency reason. I will share the screen in just 1 minute. All right. Okay, so this is our delinquency reasons report based on a scorecard, basically based on the information that we get from the field, why people are not paying. Okay, so this is actually how we can see here the scorecard template. We can see the questions, etc. So we by just doing this little sorting, we can see total number of clients and the scorecard answer, or the what is the delinquency reason. So we have inadequate repayment amounts, inappropriate loan terms, a lack of appropriate collateral, a lack of grace period, and then we have a unwillingness to pay, theft in the household, economical crisis, etc. As you can see from this report, vast majority of people have actually internal reasons for delinquency and not really external. Of course, to properly analyze this, to properly use this report, it would be great actually if you can just start collecting those answers from your field staff, so you can actually assess your internal reasons, predominantly why people are late. In terms of InstaFin, we have some other tools as well, and I will start talking about them. We have our messaging, and messaging is our additional services that Aurelian offers to clients. InstaFin messaging is designed to send automatic repayment reminders and late payment reminders. It is also possible to set up different types of campaigns to the clients, informing them about the new loan products available, informing them about the closed branches, informing them about calamities, etc. Very, very useful tool in general, but it shows a great results actually in the battling of delinquency. The repayment reminders are very, very effective, and also the late payment reminders. People sometimes they are very busy and they have a they're willing to pay, but they're busy. They forget 1 or 2 days. It's nothing for them, but for us, it's alarming sign. So when they see the message, it's actually easy for them to understand. Okay, I forgot my payment, so let me do that. Marketing campaigns are very useful, especially if institution from the very beginning provides information to a client that if client is current, if it's active, if pays on time, there will be a lot of incentives in terms of the interest rebates, the new loan opportunities, etc. So when you start sending those messages that new product is available, etc., so the people that are late, they're thinking, okay, maybe I missed my my chance to apply for this very good loan because I was late, etc. IFOA is our field officer application. It's also an additional service, and is designed to extend the reach of the field officers actually. How IFOA can be used in controlling or battling the delinquency. It can be used on many ways. For example, if you have a cash collections on field, and you have a IFOA on your mobile phone, your credit officer has IFOA on your mobile phone. I've seen that in the past when a credit officer will go to the house of the person that is actually not paying, and they will just sit there for a while and just wait for people to collect the cash. It's very important actually to record that cash immediately, so it shows immediately in your core banking system, so you can actually see on a real time how your delinquency management controls and the actions actually are taking place on the field. So it's very valuable for cash collections on the field, and not only for that, but we are not talking about IFOA today only, but about a general Instafin tool set to battling the delinquency. I put here emergency relief. It's not only emergency relief, it's also a holidays feature, etc. Holidays. I'll first talk about holidays. This feature can be used to set non-working days for the whole month or more. For example, a flood has happened in one region and affected all clients. Management decides to postpone all repayments for 2 months. In Instafin, you can set a holiday for those 2 months for that specific organizational unit. It can be a region, it can be branch, it can be a whole company, and all future repayments will be postponed for those 2 months. Emergency relief has been developed last year, and with this feature, we have actually covered a lot of external factors for the delinquency. The emergency relief instant functionality allows institutions to adjust the loan account schedules in response to emergency situations such as a pandemic or natural catastrophes, with a greater flexibility for both clients and Instafin users. This functionality takes into consideration government and regulatory requirements for loan adjustments and proposed relief measures such as moratoriums, grace periods, etc. Emergency relief differs from holidays functionality. Schedules adjusted through the emergency relief are not considered rescheduled and will not impact provisioning. This is very, very important. Emergency relief can be restricted to only certain loan products rather than affecting all of the products, as in the holidays functionality. Emergency relief can be applied to partially paid installments as opposed to the managing schedule functionality, which we also have, which does not cover partially paid installments. Additionally, through Instafin emergency relief, users are able to define the start and end date of the emergency relief period, add the pure grace period, stop calculating penalties and additional interests on in arrears installments, select which organization node products and accounts are eligible for emergency relief, monitor which accounts have been affected by the emergency relief, etc. Very, very powerful tool, and it has been successfully used by many of our clients in Africa and in the Southeast Asia. At the end, if your institution wants to integrate any other system with Instafin that will help battling the delinquency and preventing the delinquency, because preventing is less costly than battling it. Instafin provides APIs, open APIs to clients, so they can integrate with credit scoring, with loan origination, different types of loan origination workflow system, to credit bureau, to pretty much anything you would like to integrate with InstaFin. I have finished my presentation for today, and I would like you to, if you have, I would like to answer any of your questions. So please go ahead and start asking questions. If you want to talk to me, if you want to ask question in person, please raise your hand, and I will unmute you so you can ask your question. So the first question is, sir, can repayment reminder be recorded on InstaFin as well as the content of the message and when it was sent to the client? This is part of the messaging. So basically, you set the campaign in the messaging, and you know exactly actually what was the message. You have a tags for the text, for the message is personalized. So you send a message to a specific person saying, hello, John, your payment is late. You have to pay this amount of money. Basically, the users can define their own message, and you just populate it with a client name, a number of loan account, amount due, etc. And then you have a report actually of that specific message, when it's sent, is it received, and etc. So the content, you define the content, and and there is a report when the message is sent to a client. I hope this answers the question. Do we have some more questions? Any question? Okay, another question. For API integration, especially for the credit bureau, is this arranged by the user of InstaFin or from Radian? For API integrations, we provide you with the APIs and the documentation. And if there is some technical question that the third party needs to ask Radian, we are happy to respond, of course, and we will support on that way the integration. Other than that, I mean, the API, the meaning of open APIs is that you actually get the APIs and the documentation, and then you integrate with the third party. So if there is some kind of technical question, etc., then Radian will respond it. If there is no technical question, there is no need actually for Radian to interfere this integration whatsoever. I mean, for the future reference, sir, sorry, I'm just reading the question. For the future reference, sir, are these repayment reminders can be seen on the record of the client? Well, I have to check that. I don't think so, but I have to check that, and we will send you a response on that, Ramel. Can you share the configuration of the templates you made specifically delinquency ratios? Yes, I'm gonna share all of this with you, but I have a small request from you guys before I actually share those files. When we finish this webinar, you will get an email with a small survey, okay? And then when you answer the survey questions, we will get responses, and then we will send those reports to all of you. It's of course we will send it anyway, but we would like actually to learn how you use InstaFin in delinquency management, and how we can help more about that. Of course, yes, we will share, but please, if you can just respond on the survey questions, that will be highly appreciated. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. Do you use InstaFin or any other or Excel, etc., to calculate those ratios? And do you track them on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis? How you battle delinquency? That's very important, for us to understand. So you can just type here in the chat, and we can discuss. Or if you want to talk to me, I can actually unmute you, and we can talk. No more questions? If we don't have more questions, thank you very much for your. I get one response. Sorry. Yes, manually. Thanks for upgraded now with us. Yes. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. If we don't have questions, I'm going to thank you for your participation to this webinar. I hope you learned a few things, at least on how you can use InstaFin. We will share this report with you guys, with all of the participants, so you're free to use it in InstaFin, change it, add credit officer, add gender, add the region, add whatever you whatever you want, and use it on a way you like. Stay safe, and we will keep you posted with another set of webinars that we'll organize in the future. Have a great day, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you all very much. I keep receiving the messages. I'm gonna stop the webinar now. Thank you so much.